I would love to hear from you, Dr. Petrillo. I know you've done a lot of work on developing supportive care studies and personal experience working with patient research advocates. And would you be able to share with us how you've integrated the input from patient research advocates into your own research and how that could potentially be extended to other studies that are going on in lung cancer space?
Great, absolutely. I want to echo Ivy again and just say that kind of integration of research advocates kind of throughout the process is critical. So I think, not just thinking about, I think in my research is pretty clear how the connection to integrating patients, since I'm focused on kind of supportive care, it would be really insane not to include patient perspectives on what is the right supportive care. So it's very obvious for my type of research, but I think for kind of basic science research or translational research, it might be harder to think about when and how. But I think the answer is kind of all along the way to think about including research advocates. And I love that great agencies are starting to think about including patient advocates in research design, just to think about, again, what are the outcomes that are important to people? How do you make sure that the way that you're explaining your work makes sense to everyone and is relevant and important to everyone? So personally, I've had the real incredible good fortune to work with Jill Feldman really closely. And I've worked with Ivy before and worked with other advocates just on kind of how to design research that is important to people. And for me, that was kind of in the grants process, sharing my specific aims page and then kind of saying, oh, I think we need to do a stakeholder phase and making sure that we're selecting stakeholders that represent, different perspectives, and then thinking about ways to deliver and then disseminate the message. I mean, all along the path of the research, there are roles and important and critical roles for advocates. So that's been in some of my projects. And then also in the Lung Cancer Roundtable, I've been also really fortunate to get to work with advocates. And again, the voice of people with the lived experience is irreplaceable. It's foundational. And so I really support this kind of way that science is moving. And I think it's the best way to do research. And I just hope that the scientific community finds ways to find representative voices, to honor the patient voice, and to also respect kind of the motivations that people have for participating in research. So I think that it's hard to separate kind of out those motivations. And so making sure that we are truly valuing the precious time that people give us and seeking out the voices of people who might not find their way to advocating. And so I think that that's something that we can kind of think about a more kind of universal approach to as well, both for the academic community, but also for pharmaceutical companies who strive to include patients in their research.